Okay, now that we made this building, we're going to go ahead and save our file. I have recently created an amazing project in SketchUp, and I didn't save it, and I got a bug splat, and I lost my data. So let's just go ahead and save it. So save as, and you're allowed to save to your desktop. So save to your desktop. And this is a strange looking building. It's actually going to have a bunch of round windows. So I'm going to call it round window building. As you see, I camel cased it. For this exercise, I'd like you to call it the same and practice that camel case. I'm going to save this as a 2014 so I can work on it at school. Yours is already set up for 2014, of course, but I'm right now at home on my laptop. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now at this point I can go ahead and paint my building. Now to paint it, you might have already wondered if you can paint everything at the same time instead of having to paint one face, orbit, paint another face. There is a fast way to paint it all at once. So brick sounds good. Maybe this gray brick is good. If I just press shift down and I paint one surface, everything that's that color will change. So it's a nice shortcut. All right, so I've got my building, and the next step is to change the shape of it a little bit more. Now this takes a little practice. If you don't get it at first, edit undo. If it doesn't work for you, it's because you made the original building incorrectly. So you're going to have to undo the entire building, recreate it so this actually works. All you need to do is get your move tool, and you're going to hover over this edge right here. Doesn't have to be at the midpoint. Just hover over the edge so it turns blue. I'm going to click. I'm going to move down. I want to be on the blue axis. There is a trick to staying on the blue axis because sometimes it's kind of hard to stay. If you just press the up or down arrow, it will automatically stay. See, I'm pulling away and I'm still on the blue axis. So how does that work again? I'll show you. Edit undo. Okay, so I'm going to click the move tool. Of course, you can use the shortcut M. And I'm going to hover over this line, this edge, so it turns blue, and click once. Now I'm going to press the up arrow, and it will stay on the blue axis. And I'm going to move it, doesn't have to be exact, something like that, and click. Now my building is very strange looking indeed, but it will work really nicely for the project that I'm going to create. Okay, this building is okay, but it definitely needs some windows. So we're going to make our windows a little different, kind of like a ship's porthole windows. I'm going to go ahead and use the circle tool. I could either use my large tool set here and go right to the circle tool, or if I just click on the arrow next to the rectangle tool, I can get circle as well. And circles draw from the middle and they draw out. So I'm going to draw a circle, yeah, pretty large circle for a window, about yay big. Does not have to be exact, but that will work nicely. And then there's a way to make it a perfect concentric circle. That means sort of like a bullseye where there's a circle within a circle that's the exact same dimension, just smaller. There's something called an offset tool. The offset tool looks like this here. It also looks like this one over here. And the shortcut for that is the F key for offset. So I'm just going to select the offset tool, click inside, and it will make a circle within a circle. And this is for the window frame. And I would suggest practicing that one more time. if you pause and make another one just so you can practice making a concentric circle like this. Once you make the circle, you should go ahead and paint it so it looks a little bit more interesting. I'm going to use any color to paint the outside, and for the inside I am going to use a window. Translucent works. In this updated version, it's glass and mirrors, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And if I move, you'll notice that it's actually translucent, and you can now see inside the building, which is super awesome. Okay, so what I want to teach you next is how to make copies of this. But we don't want to make any sort of copies. We actually want to make something called a component, which you'll learn about soon. Now, I could group that circle and copy and paste it, but components will allow you to make changes to one, and they all change. You'll understand that a little bit later. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and use the select tool. Of course, you can always use the shortcut that I taught you in the prior menu if you don't know it. Then just go ahead and click on the arrow up here. And I'm just going to click on the face and press shift and click on this face. So both faces are selected. If I'm not careful, I might just select this one, but I want to collect both, so press shift and collect both. Once they're both have dotted lines on them, press Control, or you could also right click if you have a right click mouse, but press Control and click and choose Make a Component. We want to give this component a name. I'm going to call this Round Window. I just continue to camel case, good for practice. And glue to any, make sure it says Cut Opening, replace selection with component, this is great. And I'm going to go ahead and create. Alright, now I've created a component, which we'll learn about in this exercise. First, I want to make some copies of the component. So I'll do so this way. It's already selected. If I just select the Move tool, or I could always press the letter M, and you might have learned this trick in Photoshop or Illustrator. If you press the Option button, it makes copies for you. So I already pressed M to move it. I'm going to press the Option button, click once, and move it right next door. But this is what I want to teach you, is after you click, before you do anything else, press 3X, and it will make a total of 3 more windows. Now, if you look, my windows are a little bit large. If you have a problem like this, it's no issue at all. I'm going to go ahead and fix it. If yours don't have a problem, you don't have to fix it. I'm just going to push-pull this out a little bit. I wish architecture was that easy. I just pulled out the building and now it's perfect. You could also, if you have way too much room, you could also push-pull it in and it would be better as well. And now that I've done that, I don't really need to, it's fine. I was going to move apart my windows, but it's good enough. Okay, so I'm going to actually try that one more time. I want you to practice using this shortcut to making copies of windows. So I've got my first window, and you should do this too. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to use the Move tool, press Option, and move it one over. After I click, I'm just going to go ahead and type 3X, and it will make 3 more windows from my original. Perfect. If you feel like there's not enough room, you could always push-pull your building out just a little bit. And now there's plenty of room on your building. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing moving up the face of the building. So this time I'm going to press Shift after I press Select and select each one of these windows. Same thing, I'm going to use the Move tool. I'm going to press Option, click up, and click. And then before I press anything else, I think I could fit another row of windows up there. So I'm going to press 2x, return, and now I've got 3 rows of windows. Now please feel free to pause, rewind, and listen to this again. In the meantime, I'm just going to go to File and press Save. So I have my project is backed up and saved. Surface as well. I wonder if I can get 2 in there. I think I can. Okay, to do this, it's actually pretty simple. I'm going to do the same thing I've done before. I'm going to go ahead and use the Select button and press Shift and select this entire row of windows. Now I'm going to use the Move tool. I'm going to press Option and move it. You got to be careful. See, I want it so it's touching the face like this. I don't want it so it's up in the air. And sometimes you have to sort of finagle it. Sometimes this is actually pretty easy. Sometimes it doesn't work so well, and you are gonna only have it only work here. You might end up having to click and then moving on the face, or I just undid. If it works for you, great. Just play with it. Don't give up with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. You've got to practice a little bit to make it perfect. Just don't give up. Once you have it in a good spot, go ahead and click, and then do the same thing one more time. So Option, Move, so you have 2 rows of windows on the top. Now if you notice that some of the windows are sort of blending in with the wall, that's okay. We're going to fix that soon. Mine happen to all be nice and clear, but if it's sort of blending in with the wall, it's totally normal. It's because your windows are in the same place as the wall right now. This looks really nice. I'm actually a little impressed with my window building at this point. Now there's another way to get components that you've already made. There's actually a component window. You can go to Window, Components, and if you click on the house, if it's not already there, you'll see I guess his name is Chris. I've been calling him Stan. Oh well, sorry Chris, your name is Stan. But I could just click round window and find a spot in my model, just like this. And now I've put a round window, and you should do the same. I'm going to take this moment and save again so I don't lose my rounded window project. You're going to like the components. We'll learn a little bit more about this later, but I'm going to go ahead and close that for now. I want to show you another neat trick with SketchUp. So I'm going to rotate this, and you've learned how you can press 3x and get 3 more copies, or 2x and get 2 more copies. 20x would get you 20 more copies. There's something else that you could do. So here's one window, and I'm going to go ahead and I already have it selected, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Move tool and make 1 copy way down here. So watch me first and then copy. So I'm going to press Option and move it way down here. Click once. Before I do anything else, I want to make copies that will fill in here. I think 5 might do the trick. So 5 and a slash mark. If you look down in the bottom right corner, it says distance 5/. Press return. Oh yeah, that looks really good. I might have been able to fit 6 in, so that would have been 6/. But by doing that, it basically added 5 more windows, or 4 more within the 2 that I first created. It's a pretty nice trick. In fact, I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to try 6 and see if it even fits. So how did I do that? I'm going to go ahead and select this window. Now I'm going to go ahead and press the Move tool. I'm using the shortcut M. And click Option. Click and drag it down. And this time let me try 6 slash and see if I can actually fit in 6. Ooh, just barely. It's fine. I'm going to keep that. That's pretty cool. I guess it overlaps just a little bit. Actually, it doesn't. It's actually perfect. Anyways, go ahead and try that. I think I have an idea to make mine look a little less on top of each other. If I just move this first one, maybe up here a little bit more. All right, and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and select it and press the move tool all the way down here and put 6 slash return, and now there's a little bit more room. Oh, excellent. 5 slash would have worked just fine as well. So I was just practicing while you had a chance to play as well. All right, so we've got this building of windows, and I wanted to show you why components are just so amazing. So far, you've learned that they're kind of like groups. When you copy them, they come in, but they're a little bit more cool than groups, and let me show you why right now. So I want to edit a component. To edit a component, it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'll just choose this one, for example, and you'll double click on it. You can't edit it unless you actually double click on it because it is a special component. So if I was to try to push pull on it right now, nothing, only the wall behind is push pulling. So the trick is just double click on a component and you'll get this little box here. And now I'm going to push pull on it. I'm going to click once, and if you look at as I push pull on, it looks like cannons are coming out of the building. Because whatever I do to one component will happen to all of them. See, this is different than groups. If you group one, it would only work with the group, with that certain one, but with a component, every component will change. I want to make this 2 feet. So if you, instead of pulling it to exactly 2 feet, I'm going to press 2' return. And now I've got a window that is 2 feet round. Pretty awesome. Now you might ask, well, components are cool, but can you just edit maybe a few of them? You absolutely can. So if I only wanted to edit these top components here, this is what I would do. I would select all of the ones that I want to make different. So I want these ones to be a different color, and I want them to have a window covering. So I'm going to select those ones and then right click or control click on them and choose Make Unique. Now it doesn't matter which one I choose. I'll double click on it. And let me use the paint bucket tool. Maybe I don't know, choose like a blue for this one. Sweet. So it's different colored. And maybe I'll also color the inside and the outside of it. And besides that, I'll go ahead and change something else. I'm using the pencil tool. Endpoint to endpoint. Endpoint to endpoint. And as you see, they all got those lines and they all changed colors. And to give them a window covering, I'm just going to use the push-pull tool. And maybe make this go out 1 more foot. And let's see what that looks like. Ta-da! They've got a little extra little window covering on them. I want to make it a little bit longer window covering. So maybe I'll make it go out another foot. Sweet. So there you have it. Today you learned a lot. It probably took more than 1 day actually, but over the last couple days you've learned a lot. You've learned how to copy, you've learned how to create components, and you'll see that when you change one component, you change them all. Excellent.